Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this your daily go-getterism number 673 for August 2016. All right, so check it out, right? Today, I want to talk to y'all about when you don't even feel anything anymore emotionally numb. You don't even feel anything anymore. Unfortunately, there are some things that happen in our lives that we have been abused for so long in our lives that sometimes we don't even feel anything anymore, and that's not a good position to be in, because that means that you have lost feeling emotionally for whatever is going on with you, for whoever has done you wrong. Like, you don't even feel it no more. You know, I mean, it's a terrible thing to be in pain, but it's a whole different thing to not even be able to feel pain anymore. So if you've been abused for so long, we're not even talking about the physical. You know, I mean, we're not Spartans out here. I don't know if you know anything about Spartans, but you know, Spartans were the warriors, and the way they would treat them, train them, was that they would beat them and 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 beat them, and they would be screaming and screaming while you would beat them and beat them and beat them, and you would beat them until they didn't scream anymore. So basically, you would beat the nerve endings out of them, so they were like really, really supposed to be fierce warriors because you couldn't hurt them. Doesn't mean that they won every war, because there are other things that factor into that. But nonetheless, that's what it's like to be beaten physically to the point where you're numb. It's a whole different thing when it comes to your emotions, because as we know, when you start talking about physical pain, you may beat beat somebody until they get used to it, and they may be numb to a certain degree, but those nerves will replace themselves. When you start talking about your emotions, if somebody hurts you and hurts you and hurts you and hurts you and hurts you, you know, your good feelings don't regenerate the same way when you are hurt emotionally as they do when you are physically hurt. So the long-term damage that can happen to you emotionally, I mean, there's no end to how long it may take to fix it. One thing is for sure, it will never get better on its own. You will only get better if somebody helps you, if you seek out help, if you get treatment, if you get some kind of counseling or therapy or something like that. That's the only way you can get back those good feelings that you have lost through dealing with somebody who has abused you. Now, let me specify what I mean by abuse, because like it or hate it, abuse is a very subjective thing. Like, what hurts my feelings may not be what hurts your feelings. And what hurts your feelings, I may be able to, like, trivialize it, like, that ain't no big thing, you just got to get over that. Meanwhile, because of your experience, you can't just get over it. And I'm being really insensitive by saying that you should just get over it, or that you should be able to just get over it. Your pain is your pain, and you have to deal with that. So when we start talking about people's emotions and what abuse means to them versus what abuse means to me, you have to be very sensitive to what a person is going through. Even if you can't relate to it, it doesn't mean that it's not serious to them, unless they're faking it. Now, that's a whole different story when somebody is just faking like their feelings are hurt so they can get attention and all of that, because we know that there are people out there who do that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people who have been lied to so much that they don't believe anything that somebody tells them. So if your man or your woman has lied to you so much that you wouldn't even believe that there's light coming from out of that window if they told you, because that's how much they lie. They just lie about everything that comes up. Instead of just telling the truth about it, they choose to lie. So they practice lying, and they got so good at it, they start believing their own lies. So they don't even know they're lying anymore. That's how bad that can get. So they've taken away your faith in them to the point where you are numb to anything that they say. Nothing that they say might be the truth as far as you're concerned, because they have dulled your senses that they might be telling the truth ever. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Also, if somebody continues to just, you know, dump on your feelings, tease you, hurt you, humiliate you, to the point where You can't be humiliated by them anymore because you don't feel anything about them anymore. Now the reason why, I mean, that may sound like a good thing to some people. Like, well, I would love to, be beyond the point of being able to be humiliated or embarrassed or anything like that. See, the problem with that is you're only not able to be embarrassed by that person. So that means that no matter what that person does to you, you won't be humiliated, but that doesn't mean you won't be in humiliating circumstances. It's just that you have accepted that because you're numb to it. You don't feel nothing. And the worst part about this whole thing is that it gets dangerous because you don't care what happens to that person who has done you bad anymore. You're numb. You don't feel anything. So whether they live or die, whether they come, go, lay, stay, or pray, you don't care. You're numb. You don't feel nothing. And the problem may be that you may get to the point where, since you don't feel anything anymore, maybe it's not a good idea for them to be around. It can be that bad that you may consider getting rid of the thing that doesn't mean anything to you anymore. That's why it can be dangerous. So you don't want to be in that position, man. It's not a good look. Word. So listen, if you know anybody, wait a minute. Before I go into that, I want to distinguish the difference between being emotionally bankrupt and being emotionally numb. See, emotionally numb is when you don't feel nothing. Emotionally bankrupt is when you don't feel anything good. You understand what I'm saying? See, when you're emotionally bankrupt, you still have feelings of anger. You still have feelings of sadness, depression, laziness, things like that. When you are emotionally numb, you don't feel nothing. You're like a vegetable. There's nothing there. So you look into a person's eyes and there's nothing behind them. You don't know what they might be thinking, but you can best imagine that it ain't nothing good because you may have sacked all of that out of them. If you know somebody that's going through that, please help them. Please get them to do something about that. Please do your best to remove them from that situation or get them to remove themselves from that situation, because the end result could be tragic, disastrous, hella bad. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, you do not want to be emotionally numb. I'll take emotionally bankrupt out of, instead of emotionally numb any day. But counseling is the key. Therapy is the key. Talking to somebody that you can trust. Doing whatever is necessary to be able to get your feelings back. Maybe not necessarily for that person, but to be able to live again. Because there are dire consequences for being emotionally numb. Really. So, you know what I mean? Make sure your people get that help. UrbanTherapyWithSun.com. Don't forget to go to the website. Oh, shout out to my peoples that came out to the Mind, Right, and Body Better Fitness program this morning. Yes, y'all. It's my peoples. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Mind, Right, and Body Better, baby. Every Saturday. Get with that later. UrbanTherapyWithSun.com. Go to the website. Get down with the website. The movement is moving. It's moving in the right direction. It's moving fast. We want you to move right with it.